Good morning, Keene Bellows Falls, and welcome to the feed. We're back after a bout of illness, Marty and I, and Marty's off doing dog grooming this morning, but David's here, and we're going to be talking about a lot of things going on in Bellows Falls coming up in the next month, approaching the holiday season. First, some local events. We have at the Opera House, we have Killers of the Flower Moon with it's a Martin Scorsese film, $200 million with Leonardo DiCaprio. An amazing runtime. I guess it's over 2 hours. Supposed to be one of the best of Martin Scorsese's films, but it has not done well at the box office. So get out there and fix that.
I will do my best.
All right.
I'm going to spend some money.
And then the classic movie this week is brought to you by Village Square Booksellers. It's the 1946 film noir classic, a Howard Hawks film, The Big Sleep, with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Humphrey Bogart playing Philip Marlowe, the detective. It's a real classic. So get out and check that out. Thanks to Pat and Alan for bringing us another film noir classic. They've been doing a great month of film noir. David, how have you been?
I am well, Michael.
Yes.
I'm excited to hear about Marty's dog grooming.
Yes. You know, there are some things
that take precedence.
That's right. And you can't, dog grooming
and if you
is...
wait too long and you go in, then the dog groomer is like, looks at you.
Yes, because the dog's nails are like...
Yeah, I've had the shame.
Yes, you have.
Oh, yeah. They're like these mats, the mats.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've never let your dog have mats. But.
I always get short-haired dogs and black so that the hair doesn't... We made the mistake when one of our first dogs was a Samoyed, and it was white, long hair.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. I think there's still traces of that dog on our couch.
Yeah. See, we have both. They're both rescues, and they're both don't shed at all. But one of them has this enormous long hair, and he's just this shaggy thing. And Vanessa doesn't want him groomed, so he's never been groomed, and it's starting to get.
Oh, interesting. Does he have like dreadlocks then?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
He's like 10 years old now, and he's never. So now at this point, we can't bring him.
He's like the Bob Marley of dogs.
Exactly. He's just going to have to die ungroomed. Yeah.
So what's happening at Wild Goose?
What is happening at Wild Goose? So right now, day after tomorrow, we open Claire in the Chair in the Cimetière, which is a new comedy by Sean Hurley. It does take place with a woman named Claire in a chair in the cimetière. She is a twin.
Okay.
And has gone to wait out the rest of her life in the cemetery so that her other half can more fully live her life. At least that's what you think when you watch most of the play.
Okay.
Eventually, there are some surprises.
So, what is the nature of the play? Is it a musical? Is it a comedy?
No, it's not a musical. It's comedy. It has, we call them the clowns. It has 3, 4, maybe even 5 visitors that come to the cemetery while Claire is sitting there. Mm-hmm. One of them is Charlie, the gravedigger.
Okay.
And another one is the tombstone maker. And another one is the coffin saleswoman. And then there's a chef that has been set up so that, because she's living in the cemetery now.
So she has to eat.
She has to eat, so she has a 15-year-old young chef who brings her meals. All of them are these, I think they are just brilliantly written comedic roles. Mm-hmm. Then there are the roles of Claire and her sister Blair.
Okay.
And Blair does visit her in the cemetery, and that's sort of a whole different relationship. They are the realer people in the drama.
Okay.
I can't tell you too much because it's so easy to give away what's happening.
Plot points.
Yeah.
So where is it playing?
It's playing at Next Stage in Putney. We're very excited to be back at Next Stage. And let's see. What else can I tell you?
You could tell us approximately how long it might run.
It runs around an hour and a half. Maybe, I'd say about an hour and a half. It runs without an intermission. Yeah, it's a beautiful, comedic, sensitive piece of writing.
And you've been working on it
Since early September. It's been about 9 weeks.
Yeah. And Sean wrote it?
Sean wrote it. We're trying to do at Wild Goose a new piece, at least one new, fully brand new original piece every year. So we did Food and Shelter last year. We're doing Claire this year. We're doing a piece by a gentleman named Eric Gernand next year. So he's a playwright from out of town, but he's offered us one of his new plays. He came and did a reading with us a couple of months back, and it's just a brilliant, a little bit more sort of straight. I will say that Sean, for those of you that saw Food and Shelter, Sean is sort of a surrealistic playwright.
Yes, I would say that
What
that's
does that
accurate.
What does that mean? It means that not everything you see will necessarily feel
Be
real
grounded in
or
reality,
make absolute sense right away. But if you let that go, I promise you, you will be laughing out loud during the play, even if you don't let that go. The people who are absolutely clinging to knowing everything all the time may have moments where they go, "What?" And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's what I would say, that's one of the goals of art, is to get people to say, what?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I love Sean's work. I think this one is much more accessible than Food and Shelter, but it's, it still has moments where you have to put some things together.
Ah, I see. So it seems like you're developing. The next stage is developing a process now, where they work through. I would say the evolution of a play, where they read it and then they choose whether they'll do them or not, and then they're helping people go back and edit. And,
Yeah.
and develop.
So Wild Goose has developed
Wild
a reading series. We've been doing a reading of a new play every month. In fact, Fact TV has a play that they're bringing, I believe, is Josh. I
think you did, yeah.
And he's bringing that for reading in January. We have been doing it about a year now, so we've had a whole number of plays from people in the community. John Haddon has a play, I think, coming in February, and then we have a new person who just reached out to us after that in March. We've been fully booked the whole time. It is amazing to me that in Bellows Falls we can have a reading of a brand new play every month and not run out of brand new plays.
That is amazing. Well, it says something about maybe the need and the thirst of people who want to create and do things.
And it's that they really are creating, and we are excited to give them an opportunity to bring the work. And we're not going to spend 9-10 weeks on a show that isn't good.
Yeah.
And we're not going to put thousands of dollars into it. It's amazing how many of these pieces have been top drawer. So we're very excited.
Yeah.
We have a real commitment to new work. The next thing that's coming from Wild Goose after that is the Bellows Follies, put on with the Bellows Falls Rotary. That if you went last year, I hope you had fun.
I did. It was amazing.
We had a lot of fun. This one is a little bit different. We may be making a new poster even, because it's very movie themed. The theme is going to be called A Night at the Movies, and all of the songs are pulled from movies. And there is a movie that we've been working on from the Rotary that will be a part of the celebration that starts downstairs. And there's a little movie-related surprise, I hope, at the end. Also,
we're working on the surprise. We don't know what it is yet.
We know what it is, but it's a surprise.
Okay.
No, I know what it is. The truth is, it's not 100% that the thing is going to be done in time.
Oh, okay.
But we're very hopeful, and it looks good at the moment. So it's going to be all the songs are really wonderful movie pieces. The cast is phenomenal, and Rotary is doing another highly comedic piece, so I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yes, I think that is true. And that's December 7th, is that correct?
That's December 7th at the Bellows Falls Opera House.
All right.
And you can you can, I think, already get tickets at the Opera House. Just going to Bellows Falls Opera House.
And how do you see that happening? Do you it's basically a variety show, right?
It is.
Yes.
It's a cabaret of sorts,
Yeah.
something like that, with some skits or scenes. This year, the skit scene is the Rotaries,
Oh, really?
and then everything else is sung. There are a whole bunch. There are group numbers. We'll close with a full company number, but there are a lot of just beautiful.
Oh, really? Nice. Highlighting the singing and
Yeah.
performing of the, because there are some really good voices and personalities that are emerging in the Wild Goose
It
Players.
is shocking. So the next thing that's coming up is
Oh, okay.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh, wow.
In March at the Opera House, or actually I think we are opening April 5th. And when we auditioned for that show, a whole new crop of people
Oh, really?
came into Wild Goose that Urinetown had the same experience. We really have, we just keep expanding the pool. So there are 20 singers performing in the
Wow.
Bellows Follies, and each one of them is really quite a talent. So it should be wonderful.
That's great. I mean, that's another one of those nice traditions that's forming, that you would have the Bellows Follies at holiday season. People can go to a show and really come away feeling good about themselves and feeling good about Bellows Falls and feeling good about the holiday season.
We should all feel good about ourselves and about Bellows Falls all the time.
All right.
All the time.
But it's nice to have
But
traditions
it is.
like
It's great.
Yeah,
I
it is.
think it's great. And we're very excited to be a part of it.
Good. And then Fiddler on the Roof, that's going to
Fiddler-
be big.
That is going to be huge. Now, initially it was cast with another person in the role of Tevye. But at the moment, I must admit that I am going to play Tevye
Really?
in Fiddler on the Roof. The person who was cast dropped out.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well,
it's
it is
good
too
or
bad. They're
too
having
bad for
a
them.
baby. They're having
Oh.
a baby, so I know they're very excited about having a baby. So that's why my facial hair is upping its game just a little bit, and we're getting ready. We have a wonderful cast of over 60 people
Yeah,
in the
it's
show.
amazing.
So just costuming it is a monstrous.
And it's such a
undertaking.
classic that it's the bar's high there. Yeah.
I think the bar is high, and I think I
You'll
hope we'll do a
jump
very
over
good
the
job.
bar.
I'm nervous about my own part
Yeah.
now, which I don't.
Well, you've
usually
really
have to do.
put the pressure on too, because you're directing and performing.
No.
You're not directing?
I would not do that.
Oh,
no,
interesting.
I know it's a little.
These are
Yeah.
good revelations. here.
Dominic De Benedetto is directing. He's
Oh,
been wanting
nice.
to direct at the Goose for a long time. It seemed like the right moment to give him an opportunity that he wanted, and I was up for this opportunity, so
Right.
it all worked out.
And he's always performed. I mean,
He's always
he was,
performed.
yeah.
He's directed. He's directed many times. He's a middle school teacher, and he directs at school. So he's quite familiar.
Hard to be a teacher without directing.
Yeah, but he runs their theater program also. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's an 8th grade English teacher.
Huh.
Anyway, and a
Yeah.
lovely human being.
And he'll be directing. You'll be performing. Well, that's a different horse for you to ride then. That's pretty.
Yeah, when it happened, I was excited. I'm a little more nervous than
Yeah,
I was then,
yeah,
but I'll
yeah.
get way more nervous soon.
Were you just not going too far astray? But was that in your past performing? Did you
Yeah.
grow up performing?
I mean, in high school and college.
Uh-huh.
And I've done a little bit of work since then. I performed in the Zoo Story at Next Stage 2 years ago, something like that. And that was very different than a big musical role. But
That's true. But I've seen you recently in a smaller musical role, but you certainly put yourself into it.
yes, and I will do my best. And it's one of the things that's very interesting right now is. Well, I'll say this. The person that was in the role before me was a trans individual. And we have a few trans people in the company, and we have a strong LGBTQ community. And it would seem to be a really interesting way to look at the show which is a show about changing cultural expectations and what is allowed, really through the lens of loving relationships. It's always, one of Tevye's daughters wants to marry somebody that she's not supposed to marry or whatever. So it seemed really exciting to be bringing what felt like a modern contemporary question about cultural change and what is allowable and appropriate. I'm absolutely for supporting all kinds
yes, certainly.
But the show asked some interesting questions. When this individual left, and I took the role right after that, Hamas attacked in Israel. And it's been very interesting to get a lot of input and feedback about, well, what are you going to do with this show? Initially, my response is sort of not everybody feels that way. It is a show that some would say is about Jewish suffering in places.
Well, it was I think the original was set in a time when the pogroms were going on against the Jews in Russia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And they are thrown out of their town, which I find incredibly interesting and exciting now, because the Palestinians have been thrown out of their land and are being, the tables are mixed up, we'll say, at the very least.
Yes.
So I think it's a challenging and exciting time to do the show, and I hope there is a way that we can help people think about
just
this
different
through the lens
opening
of the show.
Yes. I can't. It's such a tragic occurrence right now that I can't really get my mind around it, except to try to open my mind a little bit and see. It's just
it is horrible for everyone.
Yes.
And it seems very difficult to get out of. I don't know. I have pretty clear instructions that I would give to somebody if they wanted. We need two-state solution.
I don't know that it's that simple, but I don't think
there's nothing simple about it. There's nothing simple about it. So it's
yes. As much as I like one of our ex-presidents, last weekend he said no one's hands are clean, and that was Barack Obama.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't think anyone's hands are clean. I don't think, and most of the Jews I know would say the same thing.
Yeah.
The Israeli government and the Jewish people are not the same thing.
That's true.
Although they are sometimes conflated.
Well, before getting thrown off the air and firebombed.
I know.
It's good to have you bring up these. Because
theater has to be about
something.
Theater
has to be about something. You're right. Theater has to be about life.
And I think it's so much better for us to talk, however those stimuli arise, than to not talk as people.
Yeah.
And I think we really find ourselves in so many areas in different camps, not really hearing.
Right.
And this may be one of those camps, and I think it's an opportunity to say something that is abstractly to allow us
they bash in, they don't listen, but if we can look at it from a different light or a different angle or a different perspective, then maybe we can see something and hear something.
Yeah. So we're hopeful, excited, do our best. People have said, well, why did you pick Fiddler on the Roof in the wake of this? But we picked it. We picked it long before.
I remember you talking
long
about this.
Before.
Well, I think we might do Fiddler, and that was
So
you can't predict the future.
And then people were like, well, maybe you shouldn't do it, and I don't.
I don't think that's
I don't think that's helpful.
Yeah.
But here we are.
And it's changed.
Muddling along.
That's good.
What's after that?
What is after that?
What is after that? We're doing our summer, we do a summer show for kids and families that's free. So anybody can come. We did Frog and Toad, and we did the Velveteen Rabbit last summer. And we're not 100% sure. We might do story theater, which is a collection of musical fables.
Oh, nice.
Sort of the Aesop, the fisherman and his wife is one of them. Anyway, we're looking at something. But there'll be a hopefully joyous outdoor summer musical.
Nothing controversial. It'll be controversial by the time you do it, though. How's that?
Probably. Music will be controversial or something.
That's good. It's good to have you here, David. We have about 4 minutes left, maybe 3. I'm looking over at Colin. He's saying
4 minutes. What should we talk about?
Well, you should talk about how can people help? What can they do? How can they contact you?
What a great cue. So you can always check out our website, wildgooseplayers.com. I this morning got a request to volunteer through the website, but we have volunteers coming all the time for set construction, costumes, lighting, marketing. For the first time in my life, I have a volunteer accountant.
Really?
Yeah, which
can be handy.
I get down on my hands and knees and thank God very frequently for that. But there's tons of opportunity to fly with the geese, and we're very excited to still be here. We actually just got this is noteworthy, I think. We just got an occupancy permit to do shows in our space, have events in our space, right in town, and have 40 people. So we are planning some shows, little,
that would be very intimate, very nice.
Poetry or just little 2-person productions, and we can have people in there, and maybe if we work it out, we might even be able to get some food. We're working on a license to cater through the Moose, with the Moose and their commercial kitchen, and maybe we can get a liquor license and be able to have wine at our readings and so on like that.
Yeah.
We're working our way along.
Turning into a nightclub almost.
Yeah, it should be a place where there's happenings and events.
Yeah.
Amen.
We could use that.
We need more events. We need more fun together. Although there's fun.
There is fun. And come to the Holly Jolly Follies. There'll be certainly be fun.
Yes, you won't regret it if you come to the Follies. I think you'll find it quite lovely and joyous.
Come to Claire on Friday and have your mind
expanded and laugh a lot.
Yeah. And I think that's about it for this week. What do you think, David?
Well, I have nothing else to say.
Okay. On that note,
I could hum gently for a while.
All right.
Should we hum?
Go ahead. All right. And with that, goodbye.
With that, we're done.
See you next week.